Well, yesterday I came back to Maine from Vermont, and yeah, little bits and pieces we're going to do over here. I'm not sure when I'm going back to Vermont. Could be Saturday, could be Monday, I'm not sure. But it wasn't, I was just, the day before that, I had done all that compacting, and I don't know, it's just been, you know, all that lawyer nonsense. It was just one of those days. I just didn't feel like doing anything. So I didn't take any video, I didn't put anything up. It was just, I was spent. That was the easy version of that. So today, you saw, we went to, my parents and I went to a place called Castle in the Clouds in New Hampshire for lunch, and beautiful scenery. Meal was good. I just had a burger, you saw that. And I've got to run out because, of course, I forgot toothpaste in Vermont. So I'm gonna run to the store, get some toothpaste. I'll fill up the truck, get that all done, and then tonight, I don't know, I've been roasting coffee today, so it's one of those deals. I needed to make some more. I'm sure there's, you know, plenty of people who wonder or curious why, you know, why have we come back to New England, Vermont, when we used to live in the Bahamas? And well, I mean, it was never, you know, living in paradise was never a simple as it seems type thing. There was always some type of thing going on, or this, that, and the other stuff that you couldn't, you know, you just dealt with because you had no choice but to deal with it. And, you know, when everything started going not well, work-wise and everything else, then we decided to, you know, we were going to come back. And the reason that we decided to come back was because, and, you know, as opposed to going someplace else, was family. You know, like today I went out to lunch with my parents, and then my parents, obviously they're older because I'm older. They don't do well with technology and stuff like that. They ended up having to get a new copier, and so I had to set it up for them. You know, I don't know what they, my father probably would have brought it back to the store because it didn't work the way he wanted it to in that second. So, you know, you do all those kind of things. In families, it's important not only for, you know, us to be around and everything else. You know, Eleuthera had its time, but we've got kids. You know, my son needs some help here and there. Our daughter just had another baby, so now she's got 3, and that's, you know, Sid's over in Vermont staying because Nikki just had the new baby. So all of these things, and, you know, I know a lot of people would have just said, yeah, well, they have their own lives, good luck, thanks a lot, bye-bye. We're old enough now, we can do what we want to do and all that kind of stuff. But I really think it, you know, it makes a difference not only for us, because we're around, we can help, we can do different things. We're going to be busy shortly building a house, new business, and all that. But it's, you know, it's important to be around family because you can help with the grandkids. I mean, doing different things. And I really think that that aspect of being around and being part of their lives, or at least I hope, would help shape their lives into what they're going to become, as opposed to just, you know, you show up every once in a while kind of thing. So that's basically why we're back here, as opposed to, you know, having bought a place in the Carolinas or someplace else where taxes would have been cheaper and the benefits would have been, in some degree, all ours. This is, we get the benefit of being around family, enjoying those times together. And, you know, as you get older, that has, to me, that has a lot of value, because, I mean, just, you know, being with the grandkids and stuff, the things they do, I mean, sometimes they're just hysterical, and the things they want you to be part of and all that. And when I was younger and had our own kids, I couldn't afford the same kind of time because I was working 12, 16 hours a day, so Sid could stay home and take care of the kids. Basically, we, oddly enough, had a one-income family. But now, there's a little bit more freedom, so I can spend more time with the grandkids, take them to swimming lessons. You know, like yesterday, I had to go get propane for the camper, and our granddaughter, who's 6, was moved up in a swimming class where you jump off the diving board without a life vest. And she was like, "Oh, can you stop and come see me jump off the diving board?" Now, is that a real thrill for me? No, in all honesty. But did it mean something to her? Yes. So you make the effort, you do those kind of things. Family's important, and I think that's, you know, something a lot of people miss, or they don't really spend enough time thinking about. So as opposed to being selfish and just saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna just, you know, do exactly what Todd and Sid want to do," no, we're thinking of us, and we're also thinking of them. And they also help our lives a lot too, you know, because being around them is it works on your patience, you know, because they're little kids, and how they think and how you think are two different things. And on the plus side, you can always say, "Okay, bye, going. You have to go home now." So for those of you who are wondering why we've come back to the snowy north and going through all this aggravation with selling a house and lawyers and all that nonsense, that's the why. It's family. It's important. I know probably not everybody has places that same importance on family, but Sid and I do, and that's why we made this decision. On a Bahamas note, you know, for people who watch this YouTube channel, I've been getting a fair amount of mostly private stuff, emails and stuff like that on different platforms, saying, "Yeah, I understand, you know, what you have been dealing with. Some of these people have actually sold properties and have gone through similar experiences, and some of them have been like, oh my God," but pretty much all of them that have left because they couldn't deal with all the little nonsense that happens all the time. The power goes off, the internet goes down, the water is off. You know, they're, in the big scheme of things, they're minor. But after years and years, they start to, I suppose, eat at you. And if you don't live there or have to live there, then they really start to get on your nerves. So a lot of these people are just, you know, glad that they're done. I mean, I can think of, you know, quite a few people who have left and are said, thank goodness it's all done, because they also think that, you know, and I don't know, I'm not, you know, in that realm, but there's going to be problems down the road because of the way things are handled. The costs are high. You know, I know people who are not going to go to Eleuthera anymore because the costs have gotten so high they can take 2 or 3 other vacations. I mean, a man wrote me today, and you know, he's renting a place, where is it, Georgia, Carolinas, I can't remember exactly, but him, the house, for a fraction of what it would cost for him to go to Eleuthera. And I mean, this guy owned a house there just like we did. So I don't know, if the Bahamas doesn't get its act together and start pulling together its business aspects, you know, making business easier to do, making it easier for people to potentially work there, or, you know, they don't put so many obstacles in the way, and they get their infrastructure set, then I think they'll stand a chance. But if they don't, and then throw on top of that, if there's ever a recession in the US, because I think the US tourist market is their biggest revenue source for tourism. So I don't know. I mean, I'll be glad when it's all said and done and finished, because I just don't see, you know, for us, I don't see it having a future. If you've got wads and wads of money and these things don't concern you, you've got a backup power generator, you've got all the things because you can afford all of this, and the costs don't mean anything to you really because, you know, you've got plenty of money, great. But for an average person, or persons like Sid and I, it just gets to be too overbearing, too much to handle. When there's other things, you know, you come back here and you can get whatever you need or want relatively easy. The power stays on. The internet can be a pain in the neck, as we know, but I mean, that'll be solved. And you can start a business, you can do whatever you want to do within reason. So it's just a time, and its time has come, and it's gone for us. Finished. The lawyer has cinched that deal greatly because of all the nonsense she's been putting us through. So that's where we stand in the Bahamas. Hopefully soon that chapter will be officially closed. Hopefully soon. Fingers crossed. Anytime now, please. You know, a lot of the adult decisions we've made have been based upon family. It's always been that way. I went to work, worked a lot of hours. Sid stayed home so she could take care of the kids as opposed to putting them into daycare. When they got older, we moved to Vermont because the schools in Maine at the time were terrible. We ended up, as they got bigger and went through high school and college, we ended up going to Eleuthera, and I know that's going to sound a little strange, but we wanted to give them, make sure they did and grew the way they needed to. We figured we gave them hoped we gave them the skills and everything, then it was up to them to make their own choices. And now we come back and we are helping with grandkids, helping the kids, helping with parents. So it's family.